know, we got a little technical. Good morning, good morning. You know, we got a little technical challenge there, but hey, it is what it is. We won't sweat the small stuff. You know, you could always tell when you have a good topic or you have something that's going to help somebody. You know, that imp always tries to come and steal his way in, but not this morning. I told him, no, no, not today. My name is Ambassador Renee Johnson. Thank you for tuning in. Whether you're in the Bahamas, anywhere else in the world, whether it's good evening, good morning, wherever you are, we want to welcome you to Bahama. There you go, Mamlaka's broadcast network. We're the diverse grouping of leaders from around the world. We have persons from Africa, the U.S., Bahamas, and in Spain, Germany. These people are the voices that you hear on Mamlaka's broadcast network. And we are here to bring you kingdom truth so that you can understand for yourself what it is to really understand what thus said the Lord, or in the biblical terms, was what is written, which is for our good. So this morning, our topic, drum roll. Thank you for tuning in. Those of you who are about to come on. I see Mamlaka is always on talk to you about love. Notice I'm wearing red, right? Red. We kind of use red as a signification of what love is. So what love is, what is love in action? And then there's a famous singer we know. I used to love, I still love her today. Tina Turner. She says, what's love got to do with it? What's love got to do with it, really and truly? But I'm here to say to you, love got everything to do with it. So thank you for tuning in. I'm waiting for a few more persons to come on. But in the meanwhile, again, I'm Ambassador Renee Johnson. I'm hoping you can hear me. And if you can, just send me a little signal, Victoria. Let me know you can hear me. I'd appreciate that. And as I was, I thought about this topic, I started to say to myself, I've had my challenges with love. I've had my challenges in love, out of love. I've had my challenges because of love. But one of the things that remain the same for me is knowing that I am loved. And that is what I want to express to you today. I am loved. You are loved. And as I was talking and I was thinking about Tina Turner's song, What Love Got to Do with It. You know, when I used to sing that song back in the day, what love got to do with it? I sang that song because I used to be angry. I sang it because I was angry and I was saying to somebody, well, what does love have to do with it? But I didn't understand the song. We sing a lot of things and we say a lot of things, but until we research it, then we started realizing that, oh, I'm operating in error, or I'm singing something that I shouldn't sing, or I'm causing things to happen in my life that I don't want to happen. And so I want to bring you into that place where we start to get a better understanding of love in action. People say all the time, I love you. And it's said so many different ways. I love you. I love you. And it's a different tone based on your situation, based on how who you're speaking to. When we're talking to our children, we say, love you, like my grandkids. I say, love you, Manny. Love you, Ray Ray. When I'm hanging up the phone for my children, I say, love you, you know. But today, as I listened again to Tina, I said, you know what, let me see why Tina was singing this song. And the reason Tina was singing this song was because she was trying to have a relationship based purely on physical element. And then, so for her, it was no emotion. She put all her emotions aside. And so in theory, this sounds good. But you know something? In actuality, this is an empty, lonely, and painful approach to relationships. A lot of young people, older people, they feel like if I don't want to attach myself to this individual, then I'm not committed. And so we have this careless, carefree attitude of going about our daily work, going about our daily lives, going about our daily movements, and just dismissing the true meaning of love, or what love is all about. So in my research, I talked about, I want to talk to you about the different types of love. Because, if love is a verb, a verb is an action word. I always remember that in school. We talk about a verb, an adjective, and all that stuff. But verb is an action word. When I say something to you, I want you to respond. I don't want you to say it and then don't respond in action. So it is better known that, instead of people just saying things with their mouth, we want to hear it. We want their heart to speak to us. And the heart, I'm holding my chest where my heart is, but I'm actually saying to myself, my heart. See, that is where you want to reciprocate this love, in the heart, in the mind. And then it needs to suit the action. The word needs to suit the action. The source of love is deep in us, and we can help others realize a lot of happiness. A lot of people thought, oh, I don't feel love. But sometimes you gotta love yourself, boo-boo. Love is an action word. Love is pure, and it can be expressed in many ways. See, I'm sure many persons have had this unconscious fear. Like when you had a relationship and it went sour, and this unconscious fear, you're not even conscious that you're fearful. And it could be due to a heartbreak, trust issues, and fear of the unknown, or just fear of commitment. And, fear of falling in love with someone. Sometimes we fall in love with people who are more in love with themselves, and they cannot reciprocate. Because, love is patient, love is kind, and it doesn't envy, it doesn't boast. And in Romans 5:7-8, the New International Versions, very rarely, in verse 7, very rarely will anyone die for a righteous person. Though for a good person, someone might possibly dare to die. But God demonstrates his own love for us while we were still sinners. Can you imagine that? He died for us. This day and age, is anybody willing to die for anybody else? I mean, the entire Bible itself is self-revelation, the God of love. In the Garden of Eden, God commanded that you eat, Adam and Eve, should not eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, because surely we will die. This is in Genesis 2:17. We are not prepared then. When God looks for Adam in his sin, calling out, where are you? God seeks Adam not to put him to death, but to reestablish a relationship with him. God, the lover, will not allow sin to stand between him and his creator, his creation. He personally bridges the gap, because when Adam and Eve did that, we may not have even been around today, because he could have said, listen, I'm done. A lot of us get in situations and relationships when it becomes overwhelming. We said, I'm done. I quit. But the God we serve, he would never leave us. I know you hear me say that all the time, because that is where I place my trust, in this God who says, I will never leave you or forsake you. But I want to talk to you about several kinds of love. I want to talk to you about, and don't quote me, because I may not pronounce it right, but I want you to get the meaning. Don't concentrate on my pronunciation. But the philia love. This is love of the mind. This is known as the brotherly love. You know, this kind of love, it's warm and it's platonic and it's sincere. I have, people always say you can't have male as friends because something happened. I have male friends and it's strictly platonic. We have an understanding. As a matter of fact, most women would say, you know what, I have more male friends than female friends. And that's a choice. That's a choice we all have. But this filial love, it's a kind of love. It's two family members values as a friend. In the Greek, this is more powerful than eros, and we'll go into what eros is. Because eros to me is the one that got me in trouble. I don't know about you, but when we get there, I'm going to tell you why I got in trouble. And for those of us who we understand that why we were designed to really coexist with each other. And then I want to tell you about the story about Ruth. Remember Ruth? There was Ruth and Naomi. Ruth, a widow. There was and she was a full-time career for her mother-in-law. Ruth was given an option to leave or to go. But you know what Ruth did? She said, I'm not going. And in her staying, she ended up finding this Boaz. How many women I know I have? How many of us have decided or wanted this Boaz? I always hear people saying, I'm waiting on my Boaz. But you know something? I'm saying to you, maybe he's out there. But what she did, she catered to her mother-in-law. Are you prepared to serve? Are you prepared to give? She cared, and then she listened. She listened to Naomi. When Naomi gave her instructions, she did that. There was no hanky-panky. She stayed true. She served. And eventually, Ruth, because in this, we can find that this is something that we all want. We all want someone who's genuine and loving and kind, someone who pays the bills, or help you with the bills. And so Boaz has had Ruth's best interest at heart and he did all he can to ensure that she remains safe. And that's what women want. We want to be remain safe, but what does the man want? He wants to know that he has a woman by his side who can support him, encourage him, and do all of these things for him. And again, we're talking about love in action. We're talking about all the different ways that love, what the meanings of love is. And then we have ludus. It's a playful love. This is a joyful, flirtatious kind of love. What I should have done then was actually to get a pen and paper so you could take some notes because I'm only on for a few minutes. And so we're talking about ludus. We just talked about philia. Now we're talking about ludus. It's a playful love. This is a joyful, flirtatious kind of. You remember when you was in school and you were infatuated. You saw this young man or this young lady, and they were so cute. You didn't have it was a joyful opportunity, flirtatious kind of love. Um, you laugh at the little stupidest jokes. There's no strings attached. It's love is uncommitted and focused on pure fun and conquest. You know, so this is what we talk about. And then we have this pragma, this long-lasting love. I mean, I can talk about my family. I can't talk about your family, but I know my mom was married to my dad for years. They never got a divorce, so that means they're married. And they were separated, but they were still married because my mom didn't, believe in divorce. However, since my father has passed, God rest his soul, but this pragmatic love, we find a lot of women and men are in relationship. It's a long-lasting relationship. It doesn't end. It's realistic. Think about two people married for 30 years, doing the taxes together. This love will get the dishes done. It's profoundly deep, but sometimes doesn't present itself like eros. I mean, I guess we'll talk about eros at the end. It requires patience, tolerance, and hard work, perseverance, absolute dedication, and trust. Because if you're going to have a relationship over 30 years, you're going to actually need to have that thing called patience. Because if sickness happens, then what happens? And what we're talking about is things that create for us as kingdom citizens a place where we can look into the word and see for ourselves how we're supposed to love. And then there's philia. This is self-love. This is in Ephesians 5:29. But no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as Christ also does the church. And then Ephesians 5:28. So husbands ought also to love their own wives as their own bodies. He who loves his own wife loves himself. So imagine you're married. If you're in love and you're in love with your wife, you are extremely careful as to how you treat her because I don't think you're gonna abuse yourself. And somebody who's mental may do that. But for the most part, I think most people get married for for the right reasons. And sometimes things happen. You may sometimes need to indulge and treat yourself to the day of at the spa, dinner, movies, even a trip. However, it should never be at the expense of someone else. We should always think about how what I feel if someone did this to me. And then we have persons who take it to the next level. And there's narcissism that can be created when you have self-love. Self-love sometimes is a pursuit of self-gratification from vanity or egotistical means. You so admire yourself that your self-image is idolized by yourself. This particular term, narcissism, this is a Greek term. That's why this word came about when a young man named Narcissus fell in love with his own image reflected in a pool of water. So we want to be careful with being able to just look at ourselves and think that we're all of that, a cup of tea, and forget and use other people. That's not what this is about. But the real one I want to talk to you about, love in action, it's called agape, the love of the soul. You know, uh, pronounce agape. Okay, agape is a love of choice, not of attraction or obligation. Agape is what Jesus Christ displayed on the cross for us. He took our place for the sin. You know, John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. You have a begotten son, you have a son. Are you prepared to give your only son? One important aspect of the agape love, it extends beyond emotions. That's what I love about God love. When I'm emotional and when I'm angry and when I'm upset, like this morning, I came on and the thing just wouldn't allow me to come on. It just went blank. But I'm at the stage in my life where I am not going to allow anything to upset me because I love God. I love what I do. I love the essence of the agape, the unconditional love that I feel when I'm in communion with Him. And what makes agape love different from other type of love? Agape love involves faithfulness, commitment, and it is an act of will. No one can force you to have agape love. That is an innate thing. That is something that you will bring from your gut, from your soul, from your heart. And it is distinguished from the other kind of love. You know, um, agape love is indispensable. I was saying to you, I would talk to you about eros. Eros is that love where it's like Cupid shooting a bow and arrow, and it gets to your heart. And this kind of love is dangerous because it's a physical primal love based on sexual attraction. And that's where we get the word erotica. That's why I'm saying to you today, if you fashion yourself and position yourself with the true agape love, I am telling you that you will find that true love, the essence of everything that you need will start coming to you. You will display it. You will be the light at the end of the tunnel. You'll be that person who people will look at and say, oh, she's a true image of what it is. And also, I want to talk to you about storge. Storge. This is a love of child or family. We have our children, we love them differently. And I condemn anybody that takes advantage of children. I condemn that in the name of Jesus. I condemn it and I say, go back to the pit of hell. Our children are designed for us to love, for us to guide them, for us to show them, for us to be providers for them until they become of age. So that's why I'm saying to you, the love that I want to leave here today with you is a love that is indispensable. It says, if I speak in the tongues of men of angels, but do not have love, I am only a sounding gong or clanging cymbal. So when I'm in your presence, I hope you feel love. When you're in my presence, I want it reciprocated back. So, because it says, if I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mystery and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. I want to say to you right now, as you watch, I love you. And if there's anything I may have done in offense, then forgive me. As a human being, this is what we do sometimes. We offend, but we must always repent. And I repent of it. And then if I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, do not have love, I gain nothing. Because love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it's not self-seeking, it's not easy angered. Now, this morning, I might so tell you, I was almost angered because a little frustration came over me and I had to pull it in. But this love, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, it always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. Love never fails. So you want to know what love's got to do with it? Find the right kind of love, the agape kind of love, the kind of love that will cause for you opportunities of a welcoming instead of somebody just closing doors. So even when a door is closed in your face, God will speak to that person's heart and say, listen, that's my child. Open that door for them. A love that's forgiving, a love that's pure, a love that's true, a love that's genuine, a love that's knows no, it doesn't keep a record. So I'm hoping today that what I've shared with you, it would create for you opportunities. It would open some doors for you. It will create for you that inner peace. You would have been able to compare notes and look for yourself and see what it is you yourself are capable of doing. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Chris Pompey, for tuning in, and Veronique for always supporting. And I want to assure each of you today, MBM, a platform where you can find truth, the revelation to great things to come. We're a network again. We broadcast daily, MBM broadcast. You can plug in. Please like our page. Please share this video because love is the key. Can't you see? I'm Ambassador Renee Johnson, coming to you again from the place where God lives, Nassau, Bahamas. Thank you for tuning in. God bless and have a wonderful, blessed, and exciting day.